Welcome back, everybody. Glad you could make it for another video, and hopefully you guys enjoy this one. So we kind of moved a bunch of stuff around in the room. We kind of got this little makeshift homemade deal right here. It's not the prettiest, but it definitely works, and I can hold a lot of the baby ball pythons and the newest anaconda over there without any issues. Frees up this area on this wall, and then I moved the Christmas tree totes a little bit better. I mean, they don't flow very well, but for 20 bucks I'm using them just because they work and they save money. And then I have this whole area right here open, so some of the snakes can come out and move around a lot easier, and for future investments on cages. So that's really my next step is getting cages. So I'm gonna make a video about what cages I'm thinking about getting and wanting to get, and then the cages that I do have, these PVC ones. And we got some snakes that shed out and some updates on stuff. So I did a video. My last video was on the ball pythons, and then some of you guys were saying that you guys want to see the boas more, which I totally understand because boas are awesome. But you know, sometimes we do have to appreciate the paint jobs and the color schemes on some of the ball pythons, because they are very unique, and I think they're very pretty. So let's start off with this lady. I got her many years ago. She's not a breeder. I'm not feeding her to be a breeder. She's eating right now a large rat every like 2 to 3 weeks, I think. And so I'm just letting her grow naturally, not pumping her full of food. But this is just a basic call albino. And this was my second boa. I originally had the common boa, and then I got her like a couple weeks later. But she's very beautiful. We can see a little bit about the call boas. Some people like them, some people don't like them. And as you can see, like, you really can't see any of the patterns down her back. You can't see the saddles very well. She definitely looks very faded, which is very common with the albinos, especially in the call albinos. So when they're babies, they're extremely pretty. They're very vibrant in the colorations, very bright saddles, very bright patterns, and then the tail is very bright orange, very bright pink. And then as you can see, as they get older, they fade out to basically this. Some fade out a lot more, where sometimes you really can't even see the patterns on the tail. Some hold their colors. It really just depends on, I guess, the quality. But I mean, that's more than what than my experience is. So she's just a very tame, docile pet, and was my original purchase for her as a pet. And she's always going to be a pet. I don't think I'm going to ever breed her because I don't have anything to breed her with. So just so you guys know, if you guys are getting an albino, that they don't look anything when they grow up. They don't look anything like the babies do. So some people might get disappointed, but some people might like that as well. And we'll check out another snake that just shed. We got a perfect shed from her. This is a true red-tail boa. It's a Guyana. And if you guys have been following along with her on some of the updates, she's growing very well, getting a lot bigger. I think she's doubled her growth it seems like she's doubled her size in the last 6 months, which is amazing. So I really had some issues with her as a baby, and she wouldn't eat for me. She would regurgitate all the time, and basically she was down to just like skin and bones. So I thought she was going to die, but she pulled through. Obviously she didn't die, but I think her growth might have been messed up a little bit because of that. But it's very exciting to see her growing and getting much larger. You can see her tail. So the Guyanas, I do have a Suriname. They both are beautiful, but and they're both are on the true red-tail boa, and they always love the camera. But you can see the really nice peaks, the really nice saddles on her, and then of course the blood red tail. If we can get a little bit better shot. There we go. So just kind of had to move her around a little bit. Bright whites, really dark blacks, mix very well on the whites. Just a really gorgeous snake. And she's eating, what is she eating? I think she's eating weans once a week. So she's still on a weekly schedule with no problems. And she's just doing what she needs to do, it seems like, on the growth. But just very excited She's interested in that light. Very, very happy to see her growing and flourishing much better than what she was. And then we can come in here and we can look at some of these other, well, that light is not going to work out very well. Some of these other boas that some of you guys do like, the Moonglows. So we'll take a look at this lady right here. And the Moonglow is it's an Anery mixed with the albino mixed with the hypo. So very, very interesting colorations and patterns on what they do. So you can see with the hypos, and we'll look at a snow really fast after her, so you can kind of see the difference. So you can see this, the moons. You can see a lot more of the patterns, the saddles, and then she has some. I think the Moonglows have much better eyes. You can see on the tail, maybe not, depending on if she'll let us. So, well, you can see a little bit on her tail right here, right there. So you can still see some of the pattern. It's a little white. I've seen some adults very, very white. I've seen some adults very yellowy. Some people don't like yellow snakes, some people do. Very interesting, I think. So we'll come down here and we'll look at the male snow. And the snow is the Anery and the albino without the hypo. So you can see without the hypo, you can still see the saddles, but they're not as predominant. Really cool looking eyes on these as well. And then you can look, and then we can see the tail. It's much whiter, has a little bit of a purple hue to it, and they have more of a purple hue as their babies. But it's interesting because when the snows become adults, they get a very, very vibrant yellow. They keep the white on the saddles, and then they keep the white on the tail. So it's a really, really cool combination color when they get older. Again, some people like it, some people don't. I personally really do like them. And then we have an IMG, Motley, Hypo, Jungle, and then she is 100% het for snow. So she has het albino and het Anery. So if I were to mix the two, we would get everything IMG visual, the Motley, the Hypo, the Jungle, and then we could possibly hit on IMG Snows and IMG Moonglows, which would be awesome. And possibly you could even hit IMG Moonglow Jungle Motleys and then everything else. So it's crazy on how much stuff you can get out of them if you get a lot of genes put together. But anybody that owns boas, unfortunately, they're not easy to breed, and a lot of bad stuff can happen. So it would kill me to want to breed her, and then she dies during the process, or the babies don't survive, or she slugs out. It would just, I mean, I know it's part of the breeding, and I know it's part of how everything works and part of nature. But I would hate to see something bad happen to her just because I wanted a bunch of babies out of her. But people do take the risk, and it can be very, very rewarding. And then you also have to look at it as snakes can die naturally and for any reason by not breeding. So I guess you're taking a risk on these animals no matter what, just owning them, which definitely sucks. So this girl's just all hanging out, enjoying her time out. And then this lady right here is a 2000. So the Moonglow, the Snow, and the Motley are 2020s. This girl's a 2019, and she's on a weekly schedule on weaned rats as well. And she's just a slow grower, and that's fine. I'm not going to pump her full of food. She will get to size when she needs to, but she's a Jungle Hypo Pastel, and she's not het for anything, which I'm perfectly okay with because I don't have any intentions, or when I buy them, I really don't have any intentions of breeding or really getting into that side of stuff. And so she can be a little crazy, but very, very beautiful colorations. And we can see the awesome jungle pattern on her, and I just love how bright her tail is. So I have a lot of snakes. This might just be a part one. Let's check out the 2021 VPI jungle. This girl is beyond gorgeous. Probably one of my favorites, and probably the best looking VPI jungle I have ever seen. The colorations, the pattern, and the tail is just phenomenal. And she will only get better and brighter as she ages. I don't think the VPI stuff really fades out. It might, but she's just a very, very gorgeous snake, and I'm extremely happy I had the opportunity to buy her. And like I said, I haven't seen any other ones that look that nice. And for the last one, we'll look at the VPI Aztec. So this girl right here, she's very testy. We are trying to make a bond together. It's kind of working, it's kind of not working, but very, very nice colorations and patterns. I love the Aztec stuff, and just the VPI just sets off the coloration extremely well. So it's nice to have the visuals on that. It's nice to have the hets as well if you're breeding. Save some money and get into that visual stuff in the future without paying a lot of money up front. So, but again, I'm really not dead set on the breeding aspect of it just yet, so we'll just have to see what happens in the future. And that is it on the boas. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you guys want a little bit more information on the boas that I showed you, let me know. And then we'll go around in part 2, I guess, and check out the other boas, because I do have a lot more. And then this girl is trying to escape from her little area. So enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, and I'll see you guys on the next video.